Superbike Masters is a budget entry racing game that was published by PSX Games in 2004 for the PlayStation, and this would have been among the lineup of some of the last titles released on the system during that time. And this, with it being a budget entry title, it follows a long line of other racing games with similar features that would also have been released by the same publisher and even similar publishers. As from the get-go, with the visual style, if you played this game, there's a very good chance you would have played games from either the All-Star Racing series, All-Star Action, where they primarily mix up a variety of different gameplay styles for motorbikes, truck racing, supercar racing and so forth, but they all use the same graphics engine, the same assets, the same cars, bikes, features, even gameplay, controls and mechanics. There's very little difference in terms of each game. They might tweak a few things here and there, but virtually they're all the exact same in many regards to it. They wouldn't be considered as the best games on the system. They are often rehashes, like I mentioned, of similar games, more like what you would call asset flip games in today's realm of video game development, where they just reuse the same thing over and over, and they might just change up a few things, maybe add in a few additional tracks, but that's pretty much it. And the chances are the tracks that are in this game in particular, which there are 6 in total, there's a very good chance you've played them in other games as well, so they're no different really to anything else. Now, it's not to slate the game entirely. Now, I know that there's a lot of people out there that genuinely don't really like these games because of that nature, and the fact is they're just rehashes of games that come before it or even after it, and they're just rebranded under different names. So obviously the developers knew what they were doing in order to make a quick buck here and there. Now, they are playable, and while they don't appeal to many gamers out there, I know that there's a lot of people out there that genuinely don't like these games, but I have come across people that actually have played these games and do enjoy them to some degree, because we have to remember that many of us growing up, this is what we would have been exposed to when we were younger. So for many of us, especially when we were younger gamers of that generation would have got enjoyment out of these type of games and would have liked playing them for what they did offer. As what they're trying to do is that they're simple, there's no real barrier to entry with them, they're just quick, simple, easy to get into in many regards. Yes, they can be a little bit difficult, especially when you ramp up the difficulty level in the game, but if you play it on the easiest setting, they can be a little bit challenging at times, but when you get familiar with the track layouts and the controls, you'll be pretty much okay in terms of winning races. But for that dynamic alone, that's what it would have appealed to a lot more. It would have been more focused towards the younger generation, as they would have enjoyed that type of thing more so than the more hardcore or more experienced player among us. Now, I myself personally only got to really play these games in the last while since I really started this channel. I had seen them on game shelves way back years ago, and visually they're not too bad in the grander scheme of things. They do have decent graphics for what they do represent, but it's not until you play them you realise that they are a bit lackluster when you compare to more mainstream games. But then again, they're never meant to be like that anyway, in all respects to them. It is what it is. They are just low budget games at the end of the day. They're not meant to be anything special, they're not meant to be groundbreaking. They're just a way for a lot of smaller companies and developers to get their foot in the door with developing and publishing games. But in fairness, they could have done a lot more instead of just rehashing the same games, but that's just the reality of games development. And even it was apparent back then that this was starting to become a thing, where you've seen similar games being reworked or just ported and just rebranded under different names. So that was becoming the norm, and you see that today as well. So that's just the way that it is, like I said. But I would love to know your thoughts on this game if you have played it yourself, or if you've played any games similar to this that were also released by the same publisher. There's a very good chance, I'm sure, that many of you have, and I'd love to know what you think of them overall. Did you enjoy them, or maybe not so much? So be sure to share it down in the comments below, and if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. And if you would like to see more content around other motorbike racing games that I have also covered on the channel, I'll leave a link below to a playlist that you can also check out to see more of those games in action. And as always, keep those gaming memories alive.